Hi, it's Lori with Positive Thanks Living. I was gifted some papers from Marisa at Sweetpea Curiosities, and it sent me down a rabbit hole, as you might perhaps have experienced. I've never made a sea-themed journal, so she gave me these papers that she'd printed off, and they were offcuts or whatever that, she was creating her digital creation. Digital papers. So she sent me these papers to play with, basically. So it sent me down this rabbit hole. I'll show you something interesting that I've been playing with, and that's watercolor on tracing paper, because I didn't have anything in my own stash that would work for water paper that would look like water. So this is what I've been doing. As you can see, trying different things. I tore this with the tear ruler, which is right here. The tear ruler that you see everybody use. They usually use this side. Well, I used this side because, of course, it reminded me of waves. And I was watching a video about an ocean-themed journal from Jibid Neri. I'll point to it below. And she recommended that before you paint, you tear first, because then the edges of the paper, isn't that cool how that works? And I've been practicing different leaf watercolor. I am not an artist, by the way. So new, it hurts with watercolor. But I thought, okay, I can do just a faint idea of something that leaves underneath, seaweed, whatever. So I did all these, and I'll just show you really quickly how I do it. Again, this is not artist quality. This is a complete beginner with any kind of very cheap watercolor. This is cheap watercolor. So after watching a bunch of watercolor videos, there's a technique called wet in wet. And it's usually done on watercolor paper because it works better. This is tracing paper, student quality, the very cheapest kind. It wrinkles a wee bit, but not too much. So I just take a little bit of water, and I get a little bit of different kinds of blues, and I put them on the sheet and start playing with the different tones of blue. And as it dries, it becomes this very fascinating, what I would imagine underwater. Well, I've been underwater, I'm sure you have too, but imagine under the ocean, just this swirling of different colors and the beauty of how everything's slightly mushed together. So I just put it down there as a very, what can I say, loose, maybe that's it. It's loose, and it's not meant to be representative of real water or real waves or anything like that. When it's pleasing to my eye, then I finish, and I add darker colors. And these are watercolors from tubes, and there were a great number of, and again, like I said, student quality, nothing too expensive. It'll last me probably the rest of my life. And I bought these cheap little plastic things because I wanted a chance to play with mixing colors. And so I've got like 12 of them for under $10. And you can wash them and start over. And so you see how it's just coming together like this? And as the more wet the tracing paper is, the more the color moves around. See how it's, the wrinkles in the paper are causing the water to sort of flow, the color to flow. The water causes the color to flow. There we go. I knew we'd get there eventually. And I'll either let it dry just the way it is, or I take a clean piece of watercolor paper if I don't want it quite so dark, or because it does dry a little bit lighter in tone, and press another piece down on top so it soaks up the water. But if you notice here, I'll show you, if I let it run, then see how the water mushes together and it creates patterns of its own then on the tracing paper. And I just keep going like this until I like the colors and the outline, and like that. So now I have to find a place to put this so it dries, and I'll show you the rest of the junk journal that I've been working on. And we can do a little bit of the last bits of decorating before I sew it. So let me just move my water out of the way so it doesn't cause a problem, as water and paper don't mix well, or rather they mix very well, but not on something you've been working on for a while. Pardon me for reaching. So that's where the watercolor paper came from in the journal, and you'll be able to see where I used it, because I wanted it to be a part of the collaging. I've gotten a new mat because my black one finally got so incredibly dirty that I couldn't clean it anymore without taking off the measuring areas. So Marisa, as I mentioned, sent me a bunch of papers. I think this is dry. And I had some fabric that I thought, okay, I can use this. Sea turtle, isn't that cool? And it's not sewn in yet. This is one signature. I think there's 10 pages in here. This is going to be a pocket at the front. And those with digital illustrations on are from Marisa. The others I've dyed myself. Here's where I used some of the tissue paper, and I found this. It's a roll of painter's paper, and you've seen the green. This is brown, obviously, and it's got slightly shiny side and a matte side. So I've been using that to represent sand as we go along. So this is a flip with this is an old mailer window envelope that I cut apart. This is to represent seaweed, and I don't know what this is. I got it in it's a mesh. Maybe it's for rug hooking. I don't know. But I thought that looked like a net. So I can put one of the tags in here. And I've also it's not watercolor, tea stained paper that I can't find right now. This was just grid paper, and you know how the ink leaches out when it gets wet? Well, I tea stained these very, very lightly. So that's the other paper that you see in here. And just I'll quickly flip through. It's a letter that so this journal is going to be gifted to someone that is moving to the beach. She's selling her home and found a wonderful little spot. She's a widow, and her children will delight to visit her. So she's moving to the beach, and I thought, you know what? I think she's going to get lots of visitors, as someone close to the beach will get. I decided to make this as her own version, as she chooses, obviously. A wit and wisdom book. I have one that when someone comes, I ask them to write a little, either a joke, wit, or wisdom, a quote, or whatever they like. Here's a flip. And this is a bag that Marisa sent along, so I decided to put it in the middle of the signature. I have yet to decorate this. This is going to be a booklet and yet to decorate that. Again, I'm coming to the close of this journal. It's the last bits that need to be done. And I needed more of the tracing paper. So that's why I showed you I was doing. And this is cute. So you can see this tracing paper, all the different places I made it. This is from a die cut of tickets, and so I just added some shells. These images here are from the Graphics Fairy premium site. They come on a big, I'm trying to find, so it's a big page, 8.5 by 11 PDF, so I've cut them out to go on here. And pockets. And at the very last I thought, wow, I have some of my daughter's embossing folders that look like water bubbles, so that would be cool to include. And here is the last page. So in addition to what she included, she also, the papers, she also gave me these little stickers. So I thought we'd put one or more on, just to, so you and I have done something together. Let's put this one. Oh dear. Wow. I didn't realize that it came out of there. I could use that as a when you do stenciling, I could use that. There's a fishy. Sea turtles, see from the fabric. I decided to go with this. This has to be my favorite one. I don't know why. The color, obviously. These are my colors that I use often. So let's put something up here. Let's put a shell here, because I didn't put one of the, there we go. Now maybe I should be adding glue to these. What do you think? Yes, glue. Glue is good. Where is my art glitter glue? There it is. How are you doing? I wanted to say welcome to all the new subscribers. And for those that have subscribed for a while, hello, welcome. I'm Lori. I like to write and focus on things that are optimistic, positive. That's why I'm positive, thanks living, things I'm thankful for. When I'm on Instagram, every few pictures, I try to put something positive. So, I wonder. I'll keep decorating this as I go along. I'm not so good talking as I try to decide what to do. Yeah, it's either, I'm going to put explore up here, right up there. Either I'm crafting or I'm talking. I'm doing both at the same time is something I'm not great at yet. So this is coming together, this journal, and just thought I'd show you the paper, and this will go in the front somehow. I wish you well. Take care. I'm Lori with Positive Thanks Living.